All right, hi guys, my name is James from 40K Amateur Hour, and we've put up a couple of videos, and so we thought, you know what, we should probably introduce ourselves to you, the audience. And so my name is James, and I'm definitely the amateur when it comes to the team. And there's two other guys I'd like to introduce to the team. One of them's finally back from vacation, so we can introduce him. So here, we're in the dungeon. We're going to do a tour of the dungeon as well as at the end of this video. But let me introduce you to the guys, and they're right over here. So guys.
Hello! I am Rico from 40K Amateur Hour in my Tau power suit. I'm pretty awesome. Check me out. There is nothing greater or badder than a Tau battle suit.
Wait, what? Except for a dreadnought.
Oh!
I am Chad, and I melter you. Ha ha ha!
I'm gonna go this direction. Ow!
Seriously, hello. My name's Chad, and this is Rico.
How you doing? Rico from 40K Amateur Hour. Chad's back. James is running the camera.
Yeah, I'm running the camera, and I really don't know what that was.
Sorry it took so long. I got distracted by this amusement park in California and was off track for a while, but I'm back and we're on track.
So, check in, watch the videos, look at the posts. You should have some great ideas. If you got things, let us know. Make your own comments and share with us. We just like to have fun.
Any requests, dedications, put them below. We'll read them.
And make sure you guys subscribe and like and comment on any of the videos. But right now, let's give you a tour of the dungeon.
Hi, I am Rico, and I am part of the 40K Amateur Hour team. One of the things that we posted on our Facebook page was some pictures of the dungeon. It's kind of our hangout place where we do a lot of things where we'll probably be filming and doing a lot of the gameplay and stuff. So I thought I'd quickly just show you a video, I guess, of the dungeon and tell you a little bit how it came about. Typically, you would look at this and say, wow, that's taken a long time, and I would say, yes, you're right. Because I started playing games a long time ago when I was about 10 years old, and most of it started with us playing Dungeons and Dragons, and it was just pen and paper at the time. You just had your character sheet, your pencil, and some dice, and we'd sit around the basement and play. And then I ran into a gaming store, and they were doing some things with 40K, and I'd never played 40K before, and so I was kind of watching it, and I was like, that's kind of cool. And I really liked the terrain and the stuff that they were using, and I said, well, I'd like to do that in my role-playing, and this is way before Dungeons and Dragons had even started thinking about like the miniatures and the dungeon floor plans and things like that. So I started building some terrain and using miniatures and buying fantasy miniatures from Warhammer Fantasy and things to get stuff for Dungeons and Dragons. And then as I started doing that, I kept on the side playing some 40K because I thought that was kind of cool. And through that, this is what we ended up with, is a lot of stuff for pretty much any game you could think of playing, we can do with miniatures and terrain. Most of the terrain in here is all handmade terrain. I decide what I need for each battle or adventure or whatever, if we're role playing or what we're doing, and I build it. And we'll actually do some stuff on showing some building a terrain later out of pretty much junk. That's what I built almost everything in here out of, was other people's trash and things that people just throw away, or things that I can just find really cheap at like dollar stores and things like that. So we'll talk a little bit about that, but I'll show you the dungeon. We have, as you can see, several miniatures all over the wall. We have it kind of broken up as one side over here is mostly for the 40K, which you'll see some things in the pictures, and then we have a lot of the fantasy and other games and modern games that we can use different ones for. And I just use miniatures from anything I can find good miniatures for. We use them, we kit bash them, we do a lot of different things to them just to make them fit what we need. And then up around the edges and that, you'll see a lot of the different terrain that I use for different gaming things and different scenarios or whatever that we're doing for 40K or role playing. And probably the prime thing of this is my gaming table. It came about very easily. I was sitting there with a piece of graph paper and decided, hey, I want to design a game table that would be very friendly to use. And the problem was when we're doing a lot of role-playing stuff, you have the table surface, and I had just a basic piece of plywood laid down, which we thought was a pretty good surface. But when everybody had their books, dice, drinks, food, and everything sitting there on the table, you ended up playing on a 2x2 space because all the other stuff was on there. And I said, well, if I got that much space, I want to be able to use it. And so I designed the gaming table. And with that, I can show you some of the things that it does and what we came up with some good ideas on this. So as you can see, the top part is the playing surface, and that's pretty much where we play. Books, dice, and most of that stuff when we're role playing stays underneath. armies and things when we're playing 40K are down on the shelves underneath, and all dice rolls can be made up here and on the table and that. So the top is just for gaming purposes. All along the sides you'll notice that there are cubbies. I can sit me at the front, or whoever might be running the game or whatever we're doing here at the front, and I can put 7 other people around the edges and the sides with a very comfortable, I think, amount of space that you have. Everybody has a little bookshelf underneath to put their books. You have areas for your dice, your papers you may be using, your pen, your pencil. You have a little cork board to put any messages or things, that reminders that you want to have of stat things, whatever you maybe need to look at. Then the best part of it is that you have the opportunity to communicate with the game master or other people through kind of an anonymous series of tubes and maze ways to be able to communicate. And how we do that is we actually got handballs and racquetballs that we split like a coin purse, and you can put the message inside, and we have a series of tubes in that we can actually send messages back and forth. So if I take this, and we'll show you later that I actually have up here the front the holes that are all set up, and one will go to each one of the different players around the table. I can take one of these and I can send it down the table into one of the other players over there. They can get the message, read it, and then they can have a tube underneath. Everybody is connected to a tube underneath, and they can send it right back to me. So we can communicate back and forth and tell each other things that maybe only the players or the game master or whoever might want to use it. Message system doesn't work real well on 40K because there's nothing you need to really send secretly, but it's just kind of a fun little thing that's added onto it for when you're using it for role playing. So I designed it and decided that legs are kind of just a waste of space, so I turned my legs into bookcases and storage areas so that you can have all your rule books and things like that just stacked right up here in the front, and also there's some storage back in the legs in the back so you can actually have those. Each cubby has its own separate light so that you can have lighting down in there when you're doing your paperwork and your dice rolling and things of that sort, and be able to not have the shadow or the shade of the top of the table on it. So that's kind of a tour. We'll get some pictures of it, show it to you, and walk around and maybe explain some other things. But this is the dungeon.